4. Brown punches it in. They're up 23-13 after a missed extra point. What is happening with these Seahawks? Fourth quarter we go. Russell Wilson from 3rd and 8, same score. Fumbles the snap. It's recovered by Leonard Floyd. And the turnovers continue to haunt the Hawks offense. The snap was low. I'll give him that, but he couldn't get his hands on it. The problems continue for that Seahawks offense. To the fourth quarter we go, and the Seahawks are still trailing by 10 and facing a 3rd and 9. Not again, right? Like, no, this isn't. Oh no, he's picked again! Darius Williams just sits on it, takes it, returns it 19 yards at Seattle 45. You see him jump the pass perfectly. Russ served that one on a platter.
Not like Russell to have 2 picks, no touchdowns.
No touchdowns. Second interception of the game. Seahawks fall to the Rams 23-16. They have now lost 2 in a row. Here's Pete Carroll on what he saw from his team today.
I believe that we're going to start making the plays in the games early on that we've been making in practice. You know, stuff that we saw happen in practice didn't happen in this game. And I believe that we're going to take care of the football with all of the emphasis that we have on it. To turn the ball over, 7 times in the last 2 weeks is just, you know, I don't recognize that kind of execution where we're giving the ball up. I believe these guys are going to hang together and they're going to keep working because they're great. They're great people. They care. They want to work hard. They enjoy working it and going for it. They're okay about the challenge when it's tough. They still want to keep battling. You can see them hanging in there and supporting one another. And so I really believe we have plenty of time to get this thing going. And so that's where I'm going. And I convey that to them, and I hope they want to go along with it. And we got a lot of football ahead. We're bouncing right back here on Thursday. We got to come right back against the Cardinals. They're doing great. And it's going to be a difficult challenge for us. But it's the challenge that we need. It's right there in the division, right where you need it. You need to get this win and get going and go to the next game.
Russell Wilson entered the day as the NFL's passing touchdown leader, but for just the second time in the last 2 seasons, he failed to throw a single passing touchdown in a game. The other came in last season's loss at the Rams, when Wilson also passed for just under 250 yards. Tim, we've been making a lot about how bad the Seahawks defense is, and I think Ning's going to get into that in a minute. But Russell Wilson, 4 turnovers against the Bills. 3 of his last 4 games, he's had multiple turnovers. What are you seeing from Russ, and why isn't he cooking anymore?
Well, they're not doing a very good job protecting him, and that's, you know, been a problem, you know, for quite some time, to be honest with you. But we've usually seen Russell Wilson run around, make plays, create offense, and, you know, today was a pretty good example of, you know, he was not making good decisions, you know, when he tried to escape or create offense. And then you look at the speed of that Rams defense, it ended up catching up to him. Listen, this is uncharacteristic stuff for Russell Wilson. He fumbled snap. Got an opportunity to scramble, pick up the first down. It's just an absolute late force that ends up getting picked off. And I think there's probably a level of frustration when the rest of your offense feels like this, like you're playing uphill. Guys are getting beat up front, and the defense is swarming around the quarterback. You know, I think oftentimes we've expected him to just put on a cape and be Superman, kind of just be amazing for that football team and create offense, get out of trouble, fix other people's mistakes if they miss an assignment or blow a block up front. And so, look, it's hard to do that each and every week. And I think that in some ways it's kind of catching up to the Seattle Seahawks and their inability to protect Russell Wilson.
How much do you agree with that maybe the offense is gripping a bit to overcome the Seahawks D that has been an F?
Well, I mean, you said it correctly. That's their Achilles heel. Their defense can't stop anybody, and their secondary's poor. They don't really put much pressure on the quarterback. So when you have a defense that's at the bottom of the league in basically every category, your offense has to press and know, hey, look, we got to go out here. We have to score every single possession if we want to be in this game, because we know when the defense goes on the field, they're going to be able, the other team's going to march the ball down the field, score, and we got to go out there and we got to match that. So when I watch the Seattle defense, it's like they don't really have an identity. They're not the Legion of Boom anymore. You can't rely on what they used to be. If they had somewhat of a defense, this team would be a pretty tough team. But right now, they're just one-dimensional. They have a great offense. We know they have a great quarterback. They have a great receiving core. But they struggle up front to protect the quarterback. And the last time I checked, anytime the quarterback is being hit a lot, that's a rough day. You can go across the league. Any team that lets their quarterback hit the turf too much, they're going to have a bad day. And if they can't protect Russell and they can't play defense, I don't see this team going far in the playoffs at all.
Russell Wilson was really, and that offense was really sort of the deodorant for the stink from the defense, is why they started out the season 5-0 and have gone 1-3 since. And now the NFC West is very, very crowded. Everybody is sitting at 6-3 with the Cardinals on top, then the Rams and the Seahawks. Let's talk a little Bengals and Steelers. Everyone wanted to hit the panic alarm last week. The Cowboys scare the Steelers. Despite that, they get the win, 8-0. But there was a lot of talk about, I don't know, maybe some of the
no practice.
Isn't great. Ben Roethlisberger was on the COVID list. He didn't have any practice. He's got bum knees. Doesn't matter. He connects with Deontay Johnson for the 46-yard gain. 2 plays later, Big Ben, the 12-yard touchdown. And the Bengals had been playing well. We're starting to sort of figure out what their identity tends to be, but the Steelers reaffirming what many people believe, which is that they're one of the better teams in the AFC. Juju Smith-Schuster there for a 24-yard gain. Later on in the drive, Big Ben, again to Juju, has all the good juju. Steelers lead 19-7. You knew right away that they were firmly in control of this one. They're up 22-7 here. And again, he connects with Chase Claypool, this one for an 11-yard touchdown. So the Steelers absolutely roll over the Bengals 36-10. Chase Claypool with Diana Rosidi post-game.
Steelers wide receiver Chase Claypool with 2 touchdowns in their win over the Bengals. Chase, it was a really interesting week for you guys because you didn't have Ben in practice every single day, but you were still able to figure out a rhythm with him. How were you able to do that?
Yeah, luckily Ben's one of the best in the game, so we weren't worried that Ben was out because we knew that he was going to know what was going on. We just had to be on top of our things, and with the timing and stuff, we've been able to build that week by week, so it wasn't that bad.
When I talked to the Bengals this week about which receiver they think Ben likes the most, they said it is obvious. It's Chase Claypool. Why does Ben Roethlisberger like throwing to you so much?
Yeah, it changes every week, I think. We've been trying to connect downfield, and we've been just a little bit off, so I just got to keep making plays, and I got to start making plays downfield, and hopefully we keep it going.
Chase, you guys remain the only undefeated team in the NFL. You continue to put together wins. How are you guys not overlooking any team?
Oh, yeah, especially these games with division rival. These games mean the most when it comes to playoff picture. So we know we can't take any teams light because that could affect us down the road. So just having that mindset.
All right, Chase Claypool, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
The Steelers now 9-0 for the first time in franchise history. You look ahead. They travel to Jacksonville next week. Then they've got the Ravens, which is going to be a huge matchup, followed by Washington. And then some really tough competitions between the Bills. They'll face the Bengals again, followed by the Colts, who are sneakily very good. And then they'll finish up at the Browns. There was sort of an asterisk next to the Steelers. Like, now they're undefeated. But what would you say as we start to wrap up Week 10? We still have a couple of games left. Is your biggest takeaway so far?
I really don't know who the best teams are. Like, who's the best team? Like, it's like a seesaw. It goes back and forth. You're expecting one team to be just dynamite, and they go out there and they don't look great at all. And then, like Tampa, last week they look absolutely terrible. Then they come out and they have 500 yards offense, and Tom looks amazing. So it's like, what is Jekyll and Hyde? What do we have here? So right now, I don't know who the best team is. And some people are going to say, what are you talking about? The Steelers are 9-0. I still don't know if they're the best. I don't know. So we'll find out in the next few weeks. What do you
see, though, from them? I mean, they're getting contributions from every side of the ball. They've got one of the more dominant defenses, in particular against the rush. Big Ben's doing just enough. Like, what else do you need, Nick? And they're undefeated.
I mean, we're talking about practice. We're talking about that.
Okay, so these are practice games. Okay.
No, so when you look at this game, you look at the Bengals, it's like, okay, the Bengals aren't really a test. I want to see some good tests. I want to see a great test. And the Ravens, I feel in a couple weeks are going to be that great test. And tonight we'll see them against the Patriots. So beating the Ravens
a couple of weeks ago, not
I want to see it. I want to see it towards the end of the season because the pressure is mounting on the Steelers. That 9-0 is pressure. You just heard it. Like, how does it feel to be 9-0? And everybody in that locker room is being asked that question. So eventually, that pressure is going to weigh on them.
Okay, Tim, what's your biggest takeaway from Week 10 so far?
Well, other than Tiger getting a 10 on a par 3, giving Nick and I hope for a green jacket, my biggest takeaway is we're not giving enough love to the Miami Dolphins. We're not. It's Nick's former coach. It's my former teammate. Brian Flores, the job that he has done in Miami is remarkable. Look, I think we saw them getting better a year ago. But to kind of be in this position, just think about this. They have the Denver Broncos next weekend. They could be 7-3. Buffalo's on their bye. You're talking about 2 7-3 teams at that point in the season. They're very much in it. Nick did say it, earlier that they could win the division, and he's exactly right. I mean, the takeaway is the Miami Dolphins are for real, because as much as we focus on offense, and their offense probably looks to be good enough with the way that Tua has played, it's what they're doing with the rest of their football team that makes them a legitimate contender. Do I think they're better than the Bills? Probably not necessarily, but it doesn't mean they can't beat them and win the division.
Still, you guys, we're talking about parity.